Good morning, everyone. After all the beer that I saw yesterday, I didn't expect more than 3 people. So thank you very much for being here for the first presentation of the day. I'm going to present about all the stuff we are doing on the mobile arena. We are investing in several areas, and we are pretty excited to present everything here. During the conference that we have on Monday, I think, I started interviewing a lot of customers and Liferay users, and I discovered that most of them didn't know about all the things that we are doing in the mobile arena. So I think it's important that we do this communication effort to present everything that we have. Okay, so we have seen an evolution in the kind of projects that we are doing. At first, all Liferay customers were asking for a website, a public or an internet website, or customer portals. Or it was the most common type of projects that customers were doing with Liferay. But during the last few years, we've seen an evolution. Nowadays, there are basically no projects that are only asking for the website of it. Every customer is asking for a portal, a website, an intranet, whatever, plus mobile apps, plus responsive websites, plus mobile website. So something has changed in the type of projects that we are delivering in the industry. And when I visit customers, this is one of the most frequently asked questions. Is okay, I know as a customer or as a business owner or whatever, I know mobile is important, but I never know what to do, right? Should I build a responsive website? Should I build a mobile app? Should it be a hybrid app, a native app? What tools should I use? There are trillions of technologies out there, and I don't know what to do, right? So this is the first question. Mobile web or mobile apps? And I always say that this is the wrong question. It's not mobile web or mobile apps. It's always mobile web, and sometimes, when it makes sense to your business, mobile apps, right? So basically, these are not technologies or strategies that goes once against the others, but they are complementary strategies. So let's start with the mobile web. At the beginning, mobile web was like a nice to have, something that people accepted, like, yeah, if someone ever enters my website on a mobile phone, I'll try to think of him. But nowadays, it has become like something mandatory. It's not only that the amount of traffic in the mobile world is increasing, is that your business is penalized nowadays. After the Google mobile get on, your business is penalized if you are not mobile ready, right? So no mobile, no money, basically. That all business owners understand that, right? So the amount of traffic that is reaching your website is growing and growing. And anyways, not everyone is ever going to install your mobile app, right? So even if you had the best mobile app in the world, your website has to be prepared for the mobile. It gives you discoverability. It gives you the ability to be there when people look for your company, for your product, for whatever you are. You will be prepared for that traffic, okay? So how do we approach this at Liferay? We started on the previous version, on 6.2. Our goal was that every site built on Liferay should be easily accessible, readable, and consumable from any mobile device. So we started investing on responsive, and that is why we started using technologies like Bootstrap, right? You all know about this. And what we've done in Liferay 7 is continue with that trend. If you've been using Liferay for the last years, you know responsive sometimes is a challenge in terms of usability, and that is why we have invested so much on Lexicon. I hope you attended Juan Hidalgo's presentation yesterday about our user experience language. Basically, the UX team is rethinking how the user interacts with portals, with websites, with applications, and they are thinking it from the ground up, from really small screens to huge screens, and how to organize, how the information architecture should be organized to provide the best experience possible. So, for example, when they started analyzing blogs, they didn't start with a huge screen on how to manage the blog experience. They started thinking in what's the very minimal group of actions that users need to be doing regarding blogs in a small screen. They simplified like crazy all the actions, all the options, every kind of interactions, so that they fit on a small screen, and then keep growing and keep expanding to different types of devices, to tablets, and finally, to the desktop. So that is the kind of things that we are building in Liferay 7 for allowing this mobile-first strategy in the website. But as you know, it's not only about mobile web, right? It's what's going on in the world with mobile apps. Something is changing here, too. This is a quote from a recent research from Gartner, and it's basically they interview thousands of customers across different regions, different industries, and they see that there's an explosion in the amount of apps, both internal-facing and external-facing apps the companies are building, right? There's an average from 3 to 12 apps per company in the next 2 years. So how are we going to respond to this? You as developers, us as a software provider, right? As a portal platform. So this is a challenge. And why mobile apps? So there are many reasons to build mobile apps. It depends, and it's different on different verticals or different type of institutions or organizations. But basically, they provide the best user experience to interact with the content with their companies. It provides visibility and engagement. Your app is always on the user's phone. You can be far more engaged than with a user that accesses your website once a week or once in a month, right? And we are carrying portable. The machines that we have in our pockets are amazing. So it opens a world of possibilities for creating new engaging stories, right? So there are huge possibilities in there. So what kind of apps are our customers demanding us, right? We interview tons of customers, and they are interested in building apps that have a certain group of things in common, right? So one type of customer is demanding content-centric apps. Basically, they build their websites, they generate tons of content, and they want their customers, their users, to access that content from mobile apps so that they don't need to search the website, they don't need to visit it, and then everything is easily accessible and everything is at the hand, right? Others are interested in forms, so they need to provide their employees or their customers with tools to be able to generate data easily while they're on the go. There are other groups of customers that are interested in the mobile workforce. They have salespeople all around the country, or they have technicians all around the country, or even all around the world, and they need to have access to all the information that their company provides for them. They need to access official documentation for the things that they're doing. They need to report incidents or issues while they are on the road. And these kind of apps provide different challenges for the technology, right? These kind of users, of customers, they don't have a proper connection, so they have connectivity problems. They can be online, offline, but they still need to continue working with their devices, so new challenges. And finally, we have groups of customers that are mostly interested in using mobile apps as a channel of communication. And for them, push notifications are a way to attract those users back to their portals, to their websites, to engage them. Without these, for example, after you have invested, 1 year of development, of putting your portal into production, and what happens then? You realize your users are not coming back to see your content. Your users just are not going there for all the information that you are creating for them. So mobile apps and push notifications are a great way to attract them back when something important happens. And our customers are seeing this, so more challenges in the technology arena, right? So when customers ask us for these kind of things, we need to think in the whole view, right? It's not only about developing apps. We as developers are focusing on technology, and let's build a hybrid app or native app or whatever, and let's give it to the customer. But the whole story is not like that. We need to have into account the whole life cycle of the app, right? We need to develop those apps, but we also need to integrate them with third-party systems, with the enterprise backends. And also, what happens when I have 3, 12, 20 apps? How do I manage them, right? Those are different challenges that we need to face. And finally, how do we measure? How do we measure the interactions, the number of downloads, the kind of the life cycle of the user inside the app, right? So those are different challenges. Let me go one by one. Historically, we have been focusing on app development. Last year, we presented here Liferay Screens. Liferay Screens is our library for developing native mobile apps. Basically, we detected that mobile developers understand mobile, web developers or portal developers understand portal, but there's a gap in between, right? When you tell a native developer or a hybrid developer to integrate with library permissioning systems, it is complex. There's a learning curve in there. Or when you tell them to access, I don't know, the user creation form, or you tell them to access the content that we store in Liferay, there's a learning curve in there. So we decided to create a series of components that help mobile users or mobile developers to consume all our services. So that is why we created Liferay Screens. Basically, with Liferay Screens, it's a set of components. We call them screenlets. So we have themelets, screenlets, and portlets. Okay. For mobile devices, we have screenlets. And basically, it reduces the amount of time you need to develop an app because it hides all the complexity of the communication with the portal. It hides it completely, right? It allows the reuse of components and minimize the learning curve. If you are an iOS developer, an Android developer, or whatever, you don't need to learn everything about the Liferay APIs to start building mobile apps for it. Of course, everything in Screens is modular, so we have separated all the UI. We provide several themes so that the UI can be changed. It has the business logic behind, and then we connect with the server. Everything is separated. And here's a list of available screenlets. These are the components that you can use to build your first enterprise apps that directly reuse the content or the features that we have in Liferay Portal. So if you need to log in, just forget about developing that yourself. Drag and drop the component, and you're ready to log in into your portal from your mobile app. If you need to sign up or use the forgot password screenlet, forget about developing that. We have already done that for you. And one of the most powerful things, components in Screens, is the forms. Basically, you can tell your customers or your portal users to design the forms online in the portal, and then you just consume them natively. All the code is generated for you directly in your native mobile app. So you just need to determine or configure the ID of that form, and we'll generate everything for you with all the persistence, all the calls, everything is done for you. And of course, if you don't like the themes that we build, you can change the theming. These are just sample themes, so you can just change the look and feel of the app, reuse all the backend technology, all the connectivity, and you're done. What's next? Offline support. This is one of the biggest challenges in the mobile arena. Good news is that yesterday we released version 1.2 of Liferay Screens. So this is an announcement for you. We released Liferay Screens 1.2 with offline support. Basically, We are providing the mobile workforce the capability to store locally the content that the user has accessed. And also, we are giving the ability to keep adding reports. For example, if you are using the local forms to report incidents, if you are in the field and you lose your connection, you can still fill in the forms. They will be stored locally, and when the system detects there's a new connection, boom, they will be synchronized with the portal. Okay? We have resolution conflicts. We are offering different possible strategies so that in case there's a conflict, what should you do? Should you override? Should you look at the differences and make a decision? And that is all part of Liferay Screens. And the good thing is that this is not only for our portlets. It's not only for our forms or for whatever. We are providing it as a framework so that for your custom portlets, if you are creating custom services, custom portlets in your portal, you can just call our library and we'll generate the local database, pure native database. We will do everything for you to manage your content offline. New stuff that we are working on. We are integrating with audience targeting. As you know, audience targeting has been a tool that allows us to send information or to show information that is specific to a certain user segment. And that allows us to personalize in real time the web experience, right? So we are doing the same for mobile. So this allows us to create, to reuse the user segments that we have in the portal and target content in your mobile apps specifically to those user segments. So we are starting to be able to deliver different forms to different types of users, different banners, different images, different colors, different themes, depending on who you are, right? And we can optimize that experience remotely, directly changing and managing everything from the portal. I will present more about this in a following up presentation later today. And this is a very common question. What if something is not covered by screens, right? I have shown you a list of what we have, but what if I need, I don't know, to access a service that you're not providing tools for it? Well, so you know we have the mobile SDK and the service builder. So if you are building a microservice, you're building a service, you deploy it, and then using the mobile SDK, you can start consuming it from your native app, right? This mobile SDK is basically a tool that has a discovery service. It goes to your portal, scans all the services that you have published in there, and generates the native code to access that information. Okay? It offers a series of capabilities, like it helps with the authentication mechanisms, it helps with the remote service call, JSON parsing, it helps with managing exceptions. It's all kind of utilities for the mobile developers to access all these features in Liferay. And what are we working on for the next version? Well, we are using a new network library that is gone out recently. And we are integrating with Google JSON, basically to help developers avoid having to manage all these JSON results and use them as if there were, full objects. Push notifications. This is one of the features that are more critical to our customers, to business. It might be simple. It might seem like a simple API I just call and send notifications to our portlets or to our mobile devices, but it's key in the strategy of many customers. So basically, Liferay Push, it's an app you can download for the marketplace, expose an API in a way that when something happens in any of your portlets, on any of your user actions, you can just call it, and you will send a push notifications to the devices that are registered in your portal, right? Easy. Also, we have integrated with Twilio SMS. If you want to also send SMSs, go ahead and use it. And what about hybrid apps? Up to now, we have been talking about native apps, and it's true that we are heavily investing in native apps. We think the user experience provided by native apps is far better than hybrid apps. But we understand that many developers that come from the web world are used to use JavaScript, HTML technologies, and it's more common for them to work on hybrid apps. So basically, we see that our community is investing on PhoneGap, Accelerator apps, Apache Cordova, and we don't want to leave them out of our products, right? All our services, all our JSON services are still consumable by these apps, by these technologies, and the community here has been key. So we know there are companies investing a lot in building accelerator apps, consuming Liferay, and this, yeah, SMC there. And we have a great contributor from the community that has built the mobile SDK for Apache Cordova and has contributed it for you. So feel free to look for it. And basically, he has created a tool to access all the services directly from Apache Cordova. So they are contributing. But not only that, we are doing R&D. Who knows React Native here? Anyone? OK. So basically, React Native is an open source library created by Facebook. And it allows you to write JavaScript code that then gets translated into pure native iOS or Android code. And we have been experimenting with our own screenlets. We have created a JavaScript wrapper so that now they are super easy to be consumed from your JavaScript code in your app, in your hybrid app. You can call our screenlets, and all the backend communication is done for you, right? So this is something that we are researching right now. If you look for Liferay Screens React Native in YouTube, you will see a cool video there. We have released a simple demo app using it. So this is something that we are looking into. OK, but it's not only about building the app, right? Apps are not isolated entities. They need to be integrated with a backend, with a system, right? And that is the kind of things that Liferay provides to our customers. At the end, you need secure communication. You need a flexible integration tool that allows you to expose those services. You need the APIs for all kind of features that are better managed from a website, right? So imagine managing all your content from mobile devices for mobile devices. That's painful, right? So you need a platform to manage all this content. And we see that this is the value that Liferay can provide to the mobile arena. It has a lot of really interesting features that appeal to the mobile world, and we expose them via our APIs to be consumed remotely. We also authentication issues, authentication features like OAuth and single sign-on. And also, it's a platform that you can deploy on-premise or on the cloud. And then the nightmare for IT. How do you manage security when you have thousands of users accessing your data from different mobile apps? It's a big challenge, right? So we are going to do a release of Liferay Screens, so only focus on enterprise security. Basically, we are going to provide an integration with our security policies in the portal so that you can define the different security policies for accessing the portal and then consume them remotely. We want to provide tools to encrypt the database. So when you store all your information in your phone, all the data there is encrypted. And also the feature to allow to enforce user passcode, just in case someone steals your user or your employee's phone, they need to use this passcode, or the code or the content will be erased. Okay? So this is something we are going to be working on really soon. And OK, we have built our apps. They are integrated in our portal. How do you manage that? How do you manage that in your daily life as a system administrator or as an IT guy, right? So it's one of the greatest challenges for IT today. Basically, you somehow need a centralized point of control to all those users' permissions and apps that are accessing your servers, right? So we have been thinking about this, and you already know we have our user management system in Liferay portal, so users, roles, permissions, easy. But what happens with the apps that those users are using daily, right? So we have created the consumer manager. Basically, it's a tool where you can register all your apps. So every time you create an app, you register it there, and there you can configure the services that that app is going to consume. Basically, if a single app is going to be accessing Liferay Push, for example, you enable the configuration of Liferay Push for that single app. If that app is going to use screenlets, so you enable those screenlets on the consumer manager so that you can control everything from a single place. That consumer manager also provides a list not only of all the apps, but also of all the devices that are using each of those apps. And you can know the list of users that have accessed that app. And remotely control if you want to ban a user that is killing your server for whatever reason. If you see there's a security threat or something, you have full control. You can ban them from a central point of access. But it's not only about management, right? You need to measure what's going on in those apps. Single app, easy. Multiple apps, it starts being challenging, right? So we have started investing on metrics, app metrics. Basically, we are starting to measure like app downloads, session time, and also user behavior in the app. We are reporting conversion, number of times a banner or an image is seen, is clicked, how many times every button, every link is clicked, right? And we are integrating with audience targeting to generate these kind of cross-channel reports. I'm going to show you some screenshots of the first prototype. App installations, yeah, every tool in the market gives you that, right? Not interesting. App sessions, it gets more interesting. I don't care if you have 2 million downloads, but no one enters in the app, right? So we start measuring for every single app, we start measuring sessions. Session time. I don't care if I have 2 million users, if they only spend 2 seconds and then uninstall the app, right? We need to measure how much time each user is investing on your app. Asset views. Here, the things start getting more interesting. This is where Liferay CMS starts working with the mobile counterpart, and we start measuring how many assets have each mobile user seen on each app, right? Form interactions, interesting. We have seen that forms are one of the most important things in our business. If you attended Marcelo's presentation yesterday, it was all about forms, and we know forms are key for the strategy. We have customers that have the $1 million forms. For example, it's just a website where when you enter the form, you sign up as a customer, you sign up as a credit card holder or whatever. Forms are the most important thing for many customers. So understanding the kind of interactions that the users are doing with that form, both online and on mobile apps, is crucial. How many views, how many times each form has been loaded, how many times the user has interacted with it, how many submissions, which are the fields that are killing the conversion in those forms. This is the kind of things that we want to measure for our customers. Link up button clicks. And this is where the integration with audience targeting gets interested. It's not only counting the number of times users are accessing a content, it's segmenting the information based on the user profiles, so that with these kind of reports, you can start understanding which type of users are more interested in which type of content, so that you can start creating more engaging stories that are specifically tailored to that audience. And I'm going to talk about dates. Look how brave I am. We released yesterday, we released Screens 1.2 with offline support. We are not working on a new release for this year. Basically, it's going to be Screens 1.3 for security with all the security improvements. We want to offer you tools to be able to deliver real enterprise-grade mobile apps. We're going to upgrade to iOS 9 for Swift 2, and we are going to release Mobile SDK 2. And then for next year, for the first quarter, we are going to release the integration with audience targeting for building personalizable mobile apps. We're going to release the first version of the Consumer Manager, and we will upgrade to Liferay 7, so that those of you, well, good news is that everything that I presented is for 6.2, so you can already start using that. And when we release Liferay 7, the idea is to upgrade all these tools so that you can still benefit of that. And yeah, I'm seeing some angry faces. This is a developer conference, and I didn't show a single line of code. The good news is that this guy is our Java, our mobile master. He's going to do several presentations. All these have an amazing technology underneath it. So I recommend you to attend Javier's presentation about all the new things that we are building on screens. And he's also going to drive a mobile workshop about how to build all these apps and how to use all these tools to create amazing mobile apps. And I think that's it. Do we have time for questions? 1 minute. 1 minute. Sure.
Just go. We're not prepared for the microphone. Just go. Shout. It will not be on the recording.
How about porting from 1.2 to 1.3 to 2.0 with a re-based like porting from Liferay 6.2 to Liferay 7.0?
You mean porting the mobile apps? All the services are going to change, or most of them are going to change, but the mobile SDK regenerates all the API calls. So Screens uses the mobile SDK. It regenerates all the codes, and we will give you the ability to start using the new library from the same app. So you will need to update your calls, but that's basically it. It shouldn't be a huge problem. 20 seconds.
Thanks.
Another question?
Thanks a lot. Let's
Okay.
start the day really on time. Thanks a lot, Juan.
Thank you.